Hey everyone, it's TheShuffleBuffle 51 here, bringing you my second episode of Wheelin Dealing. And in this episode, I'm going to go over two different ways of trading. Now, the first one is very similar to episode 1, where you put a maximum and a minimum price, and then you simply go through the players trying to find cheap players with the sites such as ultimatedb.nl and that sort of thing. Now, as you can see there, the Cruz I got for 32.5k. He ends up selling for quite a lot more money. So there's already one sort of good profit player in here already. And as you can see, I changed it now around to make to my second sort of way of making money, and that's you look for a player. So here I'm looking for Petr Cech, and I look at the buyout, and I look for the cheapest buyout, and then I sort of go for a maximum price around 2 or 3k less, depending on how much they are going for, and I basically look for that player alone. And here I go for Ozil, and I think there's a few there, so I end up just splashing out a few bids around the Ozils. So we go back to the maximum minimum price, because this is probably the best way to make money, and that's to find cheap players and end up putting them up for more. Now, a lot of these sort of players I do know the prices of anyway, because the Premier League is quite a it's the league I use the most, so I do generally know prices for the Premier League. But as you can see here, I'm not sure about the form, so I look on ultimatedb.nl, and I have put the speed up to 4 times, so it is going along quite quickly as well as the other thing. I go in for that Walker, and I do get quite a few players, just because I've got a lot more coins, because I had just sold my team, so I had about, I think, 350-ish grand, and I'm now looking at this Sessegnon, and that is probably the worst player I got in terms of having to sell him on, just because he seemed, it said he was about 1.2k on the ultimatedb.nl, but he ended up going for just like 900 or 850. It wasn't no profit at all on him. So we're going to keep going through until I end up buying all the players that I have wanted, or I would have wanted to get. So there's I usually set a coin limit, just so if I go over it, like if I lose any money or whatever, I can just make it back, hopefully, with the amount of coins I got. So as you can see, I've spent about 100k so far ish, and still going. As you Santi Cazorla and Marin. And what I generally do, I put in one bid, because if you put in more than one bid and you go into a bidding war, the likelihood is you are going to start going over the price you should be going, like you are going to start going over the price and end up getting him for a lot sort of more than you had first planned, and you might then happen to get the player for too much and you wouldn't be able to sell him on. And that's why I generally just throw bids on players when I see him. And here I was trying to remove Mikel Arteta from the watch list, but I ended up clicking trade offer, so that was quite annoying. So I put the Cruz up for, I think, 41 ish, and that ends up selling almost 10-20 minutes after I put him up. So here you're just going to see me putting up a bunch of players, and it sort of glitches. So I go up and put them up, and now you're just going to see who's sold and how much they've sold for. Now, I made quite a bit of profit, but there's also the other players from the team I was selling. So in terms of profit, I'd think about 15-10k is how much I made off of the players I bought. So it's just going now through some of the players, and obviously the player who sold the most amount of like profit was Cruz, just because I picked him up for a lot less than what he goes for anyway. and he goes for quite a bit anyway, like 37k, and then I sold him 41, so that's quite a nice bit of profit there. We're coming to the final clips now. So Asaidi ended up selling on, Podolski and Defoe. So the only people who haven't sold on, who I bought, were Lennon and Sessegnon. So we're coming up to the final clip. So this has been FIFA Shuffle Buffle 51. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.